two slides in terms of essential ingredients. One is the capacity of a lead organisation to deliver. And you can't do these big projects on a wing and a prayer. And so we have had a steering group with all the main organisations involved, from ourselves to the Highways Agency to GOM to EMDA, etc., meeting quarterly throughout the process. We also had a project team within the council meeting weekly with support from David Williams, Gelder solicitors sitting with us, making sure that the legal aspects were covered, and that team had a project manager and a budget, £500,000 a year we put into it to just actual running of it all. I also think there's an issue about commitment. When we did Burneston, we were new lads on the block. The Welsh Development Agency, with lots of experience of going after these good investments, were in there. The Humberside were another development agency, and Welsh Development Agency and Humberside and ourselves got to the last three in terms of the shortlist. But we started off competing with 10 or 12 potential sites, and it was just having that commitment, the faith and the commitment to do it, to give it a go and do it. And the same sort of thing for Markham Vale. Ian's predecessor, strategic director, stood outside my office and said, you know it'll never happen, Nick, but it has. We've actually done it, and we're doing it. It's all coming out of the ground now. So it's about capacity, but it's also about commitment. Effective partnership working. I mentioned for the total site, it was the city and South Derbyshire and ourselves, but also the Department of Trade and Industries, it was called at the time, were very, very supportive. Department of Transport were as well in terms of the highway aspects. For MEGS, it's all that steering group that I mentioned. And there was times when, I don't know what the issue was, but something was going wrong in terms of the M1 and Junction 29A, and the Highways Agency went away and just sorted it for us. To have that sort of immediate enthusiasm, commitment, from a government department, which is absolutely brilliant, and that just set the tone for the can-do attitude of this steering group. So effective partnership working, everybody part of the team, everybody going for the project was an essential ingredient for us. Particularly for MEGS that was more complicated. A committed developer. Obviously Toyota were committed. Once they made the decision, nothing stopped Toyota, and everything was going to happen. Markham Vale was slightly different. We went out to market for a private sector partner, and just as with David Williams and Geldar solicitors, we picked David and Geldar because they were local, because it felt as though they wanted it as much as us in terms of a project. And Henry Bruce Development Limited, it's a Sheffield company, but the impression they gave was that they wanted it. This was going to be one of their key sites. They were going to work with us. Back to what Clive was saying in terms of that long-term relationship. A number of the other development partnerships that came and presented to us, we were going to be one site in their portfolio sites across the country. And that didn't feel as good as working with Henry Boots. And Boots have been brilliant, just as Geldar's has been brilliant. And it's that local feel, that local commitment, that team spirit that's so important.